Hello and welcome to all the viewers. So in this video we will going to discuss about explicit dynamic, that is impact or drop test analysis of a bottle using ANSYS workbench. So this slide represents the learning in this video. The very first we will discuss about the problem statement, that is bottle drop or impact. So if you see the right hand side, you will find that this is nothing but your bottle, and you will find this at the bottom, this is nothing but your flat surface. So basically we need to simulate this bottle drop from certain height on a flat surface. So in that we will going to discuss about how to perform meshing for the respective bottle model. Then we will discuss about the loading as well as boundary conditions, and then we will discuss about the analysis setting required to perform this simulation. And at the last we will discuss about the stress, strain as well as energy summary as a result part. So this slide represents our actual problem statement. So here we need to perform explicit dynamic analysis of a bottle drop on a flat surface. So for this we need to do some assumptions. The very first assumption is that bottle is filled with water. So basically for this we need to perform the CFD, that is computational fluid dynamics. But what we can do now here, in order to consider the impact, or you can say the influence of water, we will consider the hydrostatic pressure which will going to act due to the filled water. Okay, and then we need to run this simulation for a two different time frame, like 0.001 and 0.003 second time period, and then we will compare the results for the both time period. Then next we need to consider here a non-linear stainless steel material which we will going to consider from a ANSYS library. Here the very first you can see, like it will going to drop from certain height, so it may have some velocity. So basically here initial velocity is 10 meter per second, and the boundary condition, like we need to consider fixed support. So basically all rotational as well as translational degrees of freedom we will going to restrict for this flat surface. Okay, so what we'll do now, we will go into our ANSYS model, and there we'll perform this simulation. Before moving to ANSYS, I will show you the explicit dynamic analysis playlist. So basically if you visit our channel, you will find that we have a separate playlist for the explicit dynamic, and here you will find the very first video, that is basically introduction for the explicit simulation. Then we consider drop cylinder, and then the next one we already covered the animation video for this respective simulation. Now based on a request from the viewers, I will going to show you, or I will going to demonstrate how to perform the explicit simulation for the respective animated video. Okay, now what we can do now, we can go to our ANSYS, and there we'll discuss the remaining simulation. The very first I already performed the simulation, so I just copied that, and now the very first we know that we have a material called stainless steel. So for that just double click over here, and you will find by default a structural steel. So in order to consider a new material, just click over here, go to engineering data source, and from here you will find that if you click on a different material, you will find that the material details will be different for each respective categories. Like here for general materials you will find that like material ranging from aluminum alloy to grey cast iron, stainless steel. Now for our case we need to consider a non-linear material. So for that you just need to click on a category, or you can say the data source, that is general non-linear materials. Once you will click on that, you will find that whatever the non-linear materials are there, it will show on the list. So here we will need to consider a stainless steel. So in order to consider that, you need to click over here. So basically once you will click on that, it will show the book symbol. It depicts that you already incorporate this material, that is stainless steel non-linear, in your answer list. So for this you will find that these are the some of the bilinear isotropic hardening materials. So you can see that this is nothing but your material details. So now let's move to close this, and here if you see here we have considered this stainless steel as a material. Now if you want to change the color, so basically it will going to reflect when you assign this material. Close this and now refresh. Okay, now we will directly go to our model. So if you see that this model represents, so let me show you. So this is nothing but your bottle and this is your flat surface. So let's consider material change from here, and here we will consider stainless steel. Similarly we will change this from structural steel to stainless steel. Now if you see the, if you click over here and if you change the material, then you will find the different color code as per the material. Okay, that is all about your material. Now the next thing is you will also find the materials which you included in the simulations, and then the connections. So this is also the important. By default you will find the body interactions. The formulation is penalty time, so I will suggest that no need to change, you just keep this as a program control. So based on the tolerance value it will going to consider when the impact will going to happen. Now the next thing, like for the meshing, so let's do for right click and let's generate mesh. So let's go with the some global size, and then if needed then you can consider the local mesh sizing. So basically if you see that we already consider, if you see here this is nothing but your explicit dynamic, so you just need to drag and drop from here. Once you will consider this explicit dynamic, you will find that your the physics flexion will automatically change. If not, then you need to consider this physics preference as a explicit. So once you will consider, you will find that your element size or mesh will going to reflect. In addition to that, you will also find that here it is a single order, there is no mid side nodes once you will click on the explicit. Okay, now based on the global size it looks like it is okay, but still we need to refine this. So always remember that it will greatly affect your simulations, because this minimum size element is affect your solution time in case of explicit dynamic simulation. So let's first define, select this, insert sizing. So let's put over here sizing as a 2 mm, and here let's define as much as higher because that is not needed. So let's define here, I'm going to defining as a 10 mm. So let's clear the mesh, and now let's try to generate the respective mesh. So it will take some time, but even you can also consider the virtual topology. Basically it will going to merge the adjacent faces, so that will add the extra mass scaling when you consider the virtual topology. Now if you see that this mesh looks okay, or you can say the quite good. So what, let's check at the downside, it is also sounds okay. Let's hide this and check, because this bottom face is really important, that will going to affect. Okay, now if you want further, let's see here, if you want proper mesh over here, you can either go with insert and you can see the face meshing. So it will be, let's clear the mesh on this body and let's try to generate. So it will create a complete map mesh, so no triangle will be there. Now if you click over here, you will find that, see the perfect map mesh because this will going to impact on a respective faces of the flat surface. Okay, this basically these faces. Now let's do one thing, clear this, and I will put here 3 mm, and let's try to see. So like this, you need to do a trial and error, and you need to see, or you need to select the proper mesh size for your simulations. So now if you see here, here the elements becomes quite coarser compared to the previous one. So what I will do now, I will further change it at, and I will keep 2 mm. Let's clear this and try to generate the mesh. Show all bodies. So now it will going to perform the mesh further. Once our mesh is done, then now we can see that mesh is quite good. Now the next term is, let's define first the initial condition. Right click over here, initial velocity, and as we know that we can select this geometry. Here we can define 10 meter per second, and I will keep this vertical axis. Okay, apply. So if you click and apply. Okay, now this is all about velocity. Suppose if you are doing pre-stress simulation, so in that case you need to first perform the static, and then you need to connect that static with the explicit dynamic. You need to connect the static results to explicit dynamic. So here you will find that pre-stress effect will be included, but for present case we will ignore the pre-stress effect. Now the next condition is that we need to consider hydrostatic pressure, as we are assuming that the fluid will be present. So just extend to limit, and you will find that all faces will going to be selected. So now here let's change for the first unit, and let's define the fluid density of 1000, and we know that 9.8066 is the gravity. Now once you have defined the gravity, you will further came to know the hydrostatic pressure is already applied inside this respective bottle. Now here let's change unit, and here let's define the axis further. So what I can do now, like this, apply. Okay, so if you see here, right, so here we had considered the respective direction, we had applied the weight, acceleration 1g, and we had applied a fluid density. So now in order to see that, let's go to section plate, and let's consider from one phase to another, and let's see how it is showing. So basically you can see that at the bottom you will have a higher pressure, and it will drastically will going to reduce. Now let's increase this height. So for that, what I will do, I will go to here, and in a z direction let's put 1 meter, let's put 3 meter, or let's put 10 meters. So you can see that how it is increasing. So now you can see that our liquid is filled like this. This is our assumption. Generally it should be vertical, and when it is vertical you will find that this axis is on the top face, and you will have higher impact on the bottom. So let's put 15, or let's put 25 now. Now we are assuming that the liquid is filled up to this. Now I will further going to increase this up to 40. Okay, so now you can see that how with respect to height it is varying. Okay, So this is just the method to incorporate the hydrostatic pressure. You can even ignore that. This is not the issue. But if you want to consider, because if you are considering the fluid, you should go with the CFD. Then you will get some respective pressure, and then pressure you need to import in a FEA and then do static, and then you can incorporate that in a explicit. So that is quite lengthy procedure. So alternative to this, you can consider the fluid rate with the help of hydrostatic pressure. So okay, now even we had already covered one video on hydrostatic pressure, how it will going to vary with respect to height. So you can go through that from our channel page. Now the next thing that we need to consider the boundary conditions. So for that, let's consider here fixed support, consider this phase, apply, and now let's consider the first setting, that is click on the explicit dynamic, click on the analysis setting. So here let's consider the first setting for the end time like 0.001. So basically for you can say this much time period we will see the impact or a drop for the respective bottle. Okay, once your simulation deck is done, then you just need to right click and then solve the simulation. Okay, it will take some time to give you some results. So now if you see our simulation is performed, so I did only one change. Like if you remember, we applied initial velocity, so it should be 10,000 mm per second. So earlier we considered 10 mm per second. So basically here you just need to make it 10 meter per second, and then we applied the hydrostatic pressure and fixed support at the bottom, and then we define the explicit time integration and end time of 0.001. So I will suggest keep all remaining things as it is. So, or you can say the program controls, because there are a lot of settings are there which basically needs if you are going to consider the explicit impact in case of a complex scenario. Okay, now let's right click and import further total deformation. Then let's see the stress, that is equivalent plastic strength. And if you further want to see the stress, equivalent one message stress, so these are the three parameters stress results we will see first. The first one, let's discuss about the total deformation. So display, so I will just keep uniform. Okay, so basically it is showing the here the vectors, that we will also see that vectors later on. So now if you see the impact, let's animate that and let's study that if impact is happening or not. So I will increase some scale and let's animate. Okay, now you can see that how it is behaving. Okay, so it will going to reach up to that, but for the respective time frame I think that it just touch approach is happening. So let's do one thing, let's see the plastic strain if it is happening. Okay, adjust to visible. Now you can see that I didn't recognize, and stress is also 211. It means that small impact is happening. But let's hide this part and let's see the equivalent plastic strain. Okay, so it means that this part is have a contact with the flat surface. Okay, now let's show all results and let's hide this. Let's see the plastic strain on this bottom face. Okay, there is no plastic strain on this, so basically only bottle is deforming. So show all body. Now as we know that for the 0.001 second time period, you will find that this bottle is moving downward and is just touching the flat surface. But basically what we are expecting, it should have some impact and it should go downwards. So that is not happening for the respective time period. So that can be also studied with the help of solution information, and here you will find the energy summary graph over here from this detail. So like you will have solver output, you will have time increment, energy conservation, energy summary. So once you will see the energy summary graph, you will find that the first energy is kinetic energy, and at the down you will find the contact energy. So now after this you will find it is going to be contracting. So basically for this respective time period, there is no contraction is happening for both the graphs. So basically what we need to do, like we need to further increase some time period and we can see the further bounding or impact for the respective bottle drop. So basically here the very first we only consider a 0.001. So let's increase that 3 times. So and let's perform the simulation. So I already did that. So now you can see I will double click and let's see here. Now what I did here, I only change this time second, and once I change that, I found that, see here, that there is a change in a energy graph. So initially we perform up to this, and from that point onwards you will find that this impact is started the happening. So at this certain time period the impact is happening and there is a change of energies performed. So you can see that kinetic energy is going downward. So after the impact we will found that, and at the same time this internal energy which is present inside that, that is called strain energy, which will going to be increasing after the impact. So basically the bounce back is happened, and also this is nothing but your hourglass energy. Always keep in mind it should be as minimum as possible. Okay, and the contact energy as constant over here. Now let's see that, let's see the deformation, let's see the stresses, let's say the equivalent stress, strain, and equivalent plastic strain. So these are the three studies we will see now. The very first, okay, now we can see that the deformation from 10 to 26 is increased, and let's animate this first starting. So now we can see that the bottle is dropped, and further we perform this simulation further for a 0.003 time period. So basically 3 times we, furthermore we increase 2 times, and you will find that how it is behaving. Okay, now once the impact is happened, it will try to move downward due to the effect of hydrostatic pressure and the weight of the bottle. So once further if you goes on increasing, it will go down and you will find us. Now let's see what are the stresses for this. Now if you see, the stress will definitely increase because now the impact is on higher side. Now you can see that the bottle is have a good amount of impact, and the plastic strain is also will going to be increased. So basically this bottom plate is quite stiffer, so that's why there you will not find any stress. But as your bottle is having a thickness of only 1 mm, if you click over here, the thickness of 1 mm, in general it is also you can assume that our drinking bottle thickness is as same as that. Now you can see the plastic strain and also the stress. So basically the stress is as higher as at the impact location. So basically the first impact will going to happen, and then later on you will find the stress propagating on the remaining bottle portion. Okay, right? So let's see the vector sum, or let's click over here. Then let's see the worksheet. Click over here, and from the worksheet we'll see there some vectors. Right click, create user defined results. Similarly we will see for the element. Okay, now let's see, evaluate, and you will find that let's show all bodies, and here you will find the vector. So basically this vector will show you how it will going to behave. Minimum, minimum, minimum. So I will just keep maximum, and if you want you can increase scale, or let's put the true scale, and let's click on the start position. And here if you want you can increase the vector display, so that you will come to know that how it will going to behave once the impact will going to happen. So let's animate that and let's see the vector graph. It basically shows you the bottle behavior. Okay, and this is nothing but your maximum principal or middle the stress summary. Now you can see that, so maximum principal stress is with the red vector. So what we can do now, stress max principal, and let's see, now it is as same as that equivalent stress, as it is non-linear material, so you will find that ductile failure. Now see here, it is also on the, and let's see the minimum principal for the, so this stress will help you to strengthen your respective bottle location after the impact. So minimum will be over here, that is 211, and maximum principal is at same as the equivalent stress location. So if you think that you need to increase the bottle thickness in order to reduce the stress, so you can increase at the bottom part. Okay, and then perform the simulation further. So basically from the energy summary also you will come to know, if you run up to this location is also okay, because impact is happening at this respective location for the respective velocity. Okay, equivalent stress is there. Now the vector also we study, show all bodies, elemental, and if you see, now if you want further more vectors, but I think that is enough. The mainly you need to see here how the deformation is happening. So basically once it will going to impact, this portion will going to move downward. Okay, so that's it guys, that's it from explicit simulation. There are few assumptions we did, like we applied hydrostatic pressure, we consider the initial velocity as 10 meter per second, we fix at the bottom face. So likewise you can do the assumptions, perform the simulation, and after the simulation you notice that higher stress at the bottom location, corner drop. So if you want you can further change the direction, make it vertical, so corner drop, then edge impact, corner drop, then side impact. So likewise you can perform the simulation, and at the end you need to decide what thickness you need to consider for the respective bottle bottom face. Okay, so then thank you guys, let me know your comments, I'll be there to help you.